Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss NXT for June the 14th, 2022. This was a pretty decent show, but before we get started, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. So we kicked the show off with the Creed brothers taking on Blade and Inoue for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Really fun little good match to start the show off. The Creed brothers, they retain via a clothesline for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, they celebrate and hug and embrace Inoue and Blade. And then later on, Inoue and Blade are talked to by Cameron Grimes, which he had a really good, awesome fucking segment with Bron Breakker. We'll talk about that when we get there. I'm digging what the Creeds are doing. I do see there's going to be some dissension with the Creeds. Well, with Diamond Mine in general, there's going to be some more infighting. I do think we're probably going to have a match involving the Creeds versus Roderick Strong and Damon Kemp for the NXT Tag Team Championships, probably more than likely at the Great American Bash, which I'm fine for. Which that's probably where it's going to be going anyway, and we'll probably get more in depth with it on next week's episode, I would imagine. Moving on, we had Fallon Henley taking on Tiffany Stratton. Henley, she wins via roll-up because guess who? Wendy Chu, she got involved and used fucking confetti. I don't get why Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Chu are feuding. It makes no sense. Like, enough's enough. Like, Wendy Chu is extremely fucking annoying. I just don't like her. She's an okay wrestler and has an okay character, but fuck, like, she's ultra annoying. Next we had Wesley taking on Zion Quinn. Wesley defeats Zion Quinn clean here with like some spinning senton for the 1, 2, 3, and he now has his second straight win over Zion Quinn. It makes no sense. Zion Quinn has a lot of potential, and I don't get why he's doing jobs to Wesley. What happened to the Wesley that was doing vignettes on the beach trying to find himself? That's the Wesley that we need, you know. And I'm kind of a fan of Wesley. I've followed him pretty extensively during his run in Impact when he was known as Xavier. I forgot his last name. Oh, my bad. Desmond Xavier. So, yeah, but I mean, you know, I like Wesley, aka Desmond Xavier, but man, we gotta give this guy some character development. Then we had the Dyad taking on Javier Berna and Dante Chen. Remember when Dante Chen was getting a push like last year and earlier this year, but ever since he got injury prone, he's now been like just a job guy. I just wanted to point that out and notice that. I kind of took notice of that. So the Dyad wins via a tandem DDT, and then Joe Gacy, he gets on the mic, cuts really good little crazy psychotic promo like he always does, saying that, you know, he's going to take over NXT and he's going to start by molding these guys into what he wants them to be. And he talked about superiority and inferiority. Inferiority. So, yeah, I mean, I don't get the Gacy character. He's like lost his purpose. He's gone off the rails, and they need to do something fast. Like, with him losing to Bron Breakker at when he lost to Bron Breakker at Stand and Deliver, when he lost there. No, my bad. At NXT Stand. I mean, my bad. At NXT in Your House, when he lost there, in your house, we sort of saw a darker, more psychotic side of Gacy. That's just my opinion. Um, then we had Tony D'Angelo out with his boys, the family. He cut a good little promo saying, he wants to be a champion. He gave Stacks and Two Dimes honorable watches and shit. And he's going to increase their ranks. Before we move on, WWE over the weekend, last Sunday, they released Donovan Two Dimes. So he's been released for whatever reason. He violated some type of policy. It wasn't a wellness policy. It wasn't a domestic violence dispute or anything like that. I don't know what happened, but it's been reported that he's released, and we all know because this was a tape show, because he was on the show. And I'm assuming he's going to be on the show next week as well. But I don't know what happened. Maybe he might have choked out somebody like Bryan Danielson did years ago with Justin Roberts. But he was only gone for like a couple weeks to a month at best. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But he's supposed to be coming back sometime next year. So shit happens, Then we had Bron Breakker taking on Duke Hudson for the NXT Championship. He utterly destroyed him. He squashed him. This was like maybe, I think, a 45-second match. Spear into the military press power slam for the 1-2-3. And then out comes Cameron Grimes, cut a really good heartfelt promo. Mentioned his pops, saying to Braun, like, look, my father had to watch down to see me become a champion. And he's going to challenge Breakker for the NXT Championship at the Great American Bash. So I'm fine with this. Cameron Grimes is showing more of a tweener side, I would say. I'm digging this, and I think they're gonna have a banger of a match with each other. I don't know what they're gonna do with Cameron Grimes next. I feel like he's gonna go to the main roster. It's his time. Then we had the debut of Giovanna Vinny, aka Fabian Eichner. That was pretty fucking funny. I mean, it's golden right there. I like it, but it is what it is. He took on NXT's main jobber, that being Guru Raj. So he's basically like the main jobber, and Giovanni wins via the sit down powerbomb for the 1-2-3. Pretty cool stuff right there. Going back to the Tony D'Angelo segment, out comes Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, and then they ended up challenging Stacks and Two Dimes. It had a good little match. Hayes wins via the diving leg drop. It's an okay little finish, but he needs to change it up a little bit. Carmelo needs to have a new finish, in my opinion. It would make a lot more sense. And he's supposed to be taking on Tony D'Angelo next week for the NXT North American Championship, which should be a pretty good little match. Although we know that Legado, they're going to cost Tony. They're going to cost him. He's not going to win at all. I do think we're going to probably have, like I said before, the six-man. Maybe not the six-man now that Two Dimes is gone. But they could do maybe like another match between D'Angelo and Escobar, and have like losers faction leaves NXT, something like that, and then that way you can kind of send Legato to the main roster. It's time. They've been on there for a minute, but the only thing about it is that we all know that Santos Escobar would suffer tremendously because of his age, number one, and number two, he's short. Phenomenal athlete, great on the mic, really good in-ring ability, but his height and his age, those two factors right there are going to lead to his downfall. That's just the fact. So, yeah. And then we have the main event, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, and Indi Hartwell. They took on Toxic Attraction in a pretty decent little 6-woman tag, with Roxanne Perez picking up the win over Gigi Dolin. And I like this. This is great. I feel like what they're going to do is have Indi Hartwell taking on Mandy, and she could very well go over on Mandy, sending Toxic Attraction back to the main roster. I feel like it's time. Although I want to have Mandy up on the main roster by SummerSlam, or maybe like the Raw after SummerSlam, or the SmackDown after SummerSlam, something like that. But if they're gonna go Indi and Mandy, I'm fine with it. And if you actually look at it, Indi Hartwell, she's progressed a lot. She's progressed tremendously as a character. Like, her character is great. Now she's in the Candice LeRae role. She's now the vet. She's now the vet that Candice was, and she got all her tutelage from being with Dexter Lumis, and The Way, which consisted of the Garganos, Indi, and Dexter Lumis. So she's come a long way, and then also with Persia Parada earlier this year as well. So she's come a long way. I'm proud of her. I'm fine with her going over on Mandy. I'm fine with her. But this was an okay episode of NXT. It's been better. This week was a lot better than the prior couple weeks. So, yeah. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Peace, guys. I forgot to mention the segment involving Apollo Crews. I'm digging what they're doing with Apollo Crews. I really am. They've started completely over from scratch. It seems like he's going to be there for a while. I'm saying at least a good 4 or 5 months, the way it's looking. So he's in a coffee shop, and he's journaling some stuff down. He's got to be back on the NXT roster. He's got to be back. And so he overhears a customer being extremely mouthy to a barista and saying, you're being way too slow on my order. I've been waiting about 10 minutes. And Apollo basically decks him. So we see this in the form of a dream. It's like a dream sequence. But then he actually does it. And that's really fucking badass. So I'm digging what they're doing with Apollo Crews. I do think that he'll probably end up being champion. I want to say around SummerSlam. I think they could still build him up for SummerSlam. Because I feel like he's going to be the one to dethrone Bron and send him off to the main roster. Bron is primed and ready for the main roster. It's time. But, man, I'm digging what they're fucking doing with Apollo Crews. I'm digging it. I'm all for this. I'm all for it. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
To the end.